Right. Now, you know, guys, I'm always talking about Hannah Richards and her book, The Best Possible You.
I'm beginning to think you might run off with it.
You know, the turmeric tea and all of that.
Yeah.
And before Christmas, before I went into a mad binge, I was following her plan and feeling amazing. But she was very insistent that I needed a poo analysis.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I could have done that with the floaters you leave around.
I'm going to pretend that didn't happen. So just before Christmas, I did a poo analysis and I went to see Hannah, and these are the results. Right, those of you who watch us regularly will know that I have been working from this book, The Best Possible You by Hannah Richards. And it's all about trying to get a healthy gut, better lifestyle, all round. And I've had some amazing results. And now I've finally got to meet Hannah. And I've got to meet her through my poo. Because I sent my poo off to be analysed, and here I am with Hannah. So hello, Hannah.
Hello.
Here she is, and she is a bit of a genius. Everyone now is everybody I know is asking for a number and asking to see her, because we want to find out why most of the time we're feeling shit, and there's lots of things that you can do to feel a lot better. And one of the things is to find out what's going on in your gut. So there is my gut analysis, and I'm now going to find out with you guys what's been going on in my gut. So
Okay.
what have you discovered?
So I'm going to give you a quick overhaul of it. As a rose garden,
Oh, lovely.
you want to have in your garden lots of roses.
Sorry, we've got to do this funny little bit here because due to my terrible filming, I clipped off Hannah when she was first talking. So when she talks about the roses, she's talking actually about the good and bad bacteria in our gut. That's what she's talking about. But of course, I cut that bit out.
And if there aren't enough roses, then you give the opportunity to have lots of weeds in your garden.
Right.
So when people talk about their microbiome, you want to have lots of different bacteria, lots of strains of bacteria, because if it's really low, then it would mean that you had a very poor diet, possibly.
Right.
And so a varied diet increases your microbiome.
Okay.
Having a dog, going for a walk, being in the countryside, doing new things, eating new foods, all increase your microbiome. So when you've got a strong microbiome, you've got lots of roses in that gut of yours.
Well, I must have loads of roses. Well, I must have loads of roses because my house is really dirty. I've got loads of dogs that are always sticking their bums in my face. Is that
Perfect, perfect. That's good. That works good for the gut.
Okay.
Dogs are good for your gut.
Oh, God. Isn't that amazing? And I think we all clean too much.
We all clean too. So we live in too sterile environments. So air conditioning, people who have always got the hand sanitizer, they're just depleting all the really good, yummy bacteria.
My friend Wendy, see, I told you. You're the only one that ever has a bad stomach, and you're the only one who's constantly sanitising. Don't over-sanitise, folks. Okay.
Okay, so 2 interesting things we're going to look at first of all. When you've got all these little high things here, high,
Show them.
yeah.
See that high, high, high? That's something from my poo. High, high, high.
That's sort of saying we've got too many weeds instead of roses.
Okay.
So we've got this sort of dysbiotic, we've got a dysbiosis going on.
Oh my God, a dysbiosis. Sounds sort of almost sexual. I've got a dysbiosis.
It could be.
Do you want to join me?
You can take it anyway. But so these are all bacteria, and they can create problems when there's an overgrowth. Like if you've got a yeast overgrowth, a fungal infection.
That's Candida, isn't it?
That can be like Candida.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, you've got no yeast going on.
Thank God, because that means you can't have wine or bread, mind you.
It's really boring.
You've ruined my whole enjoyment of wine.
Oh, really?
Just tell them what you said about wine and white wine to me. You said you would, if you could.
It makes women go crazy.
She said she would take it off the planet.
I think white wine and women is a bad combination.
Well, that's why I always go nuts. Do you go crazy when you drink white wine?
Yeah.
And you were saying that your liver can't metabolize it, can you? So that could affect you losing weight and all sorts of things. So go to something else. Vodka and soda.
Yeah, well, the best alcohol is tequila.
You always say that. I can't believe that's true. Not how I end up after tequila.
Not how most people drink it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not too bad because we can get rid of all these things, and it's about whether you've got whether they're giving you a hard time, whether you're struggling to lose weight, whether you've got bloating, whether you've got constipation, whether you've got all these digestive symptoms.
Yeah.
Are significant if you've got bad bacteria in the gut.
Okay.
However, what we found are 2 little parasites.
Is that worms?
Yeah, not really. So worms are here, and there's no worms.
I've got no worms.
No, I've got
I feel a
no
bit disappointed
worms.
about that.
But there are 2 different parasites, and again, they've been flagged quite high. Now, the route for people getting bugs and parasites is either contaminated water, from an animal, or from feces, and it's sort of this cycle that goes round. So your food can be infected, your water can be infected. Now, a lot of the time, you won't notice any of these symptoms, and a lot of people say that they don't cause a problem. But it's like if you leave things left alone, they proliferate and they get worse. And then in the long term, they're the underlying cause of other illnesses.
Like what?
Well, I mean, a lot of the research now on a lot of things going wrong in the brain tumours.
A couple of weeks ago.
Are part of parasite activity.
So what does a good poo look like?
Well, according to Paul Check,
Yeah.
he would call it. He has this poopy policeman lineup.
Yeah.
And every state of bowel has a different name and a look. So it's it's a good consistency.
Yeah.
And
What colour?
It's good medium to dark brown.
Right.
You know, not breaky. Good solid 6
Smooth.
Smooth 6 inches.
No nobbles.
No nobbles. No undigested bean sprouts.
Yeah.
But you know, a good poo. So if you're
We'll put the chart up for you to have a look at, because it's quite funny.
It's
and
really
because
funny.
it's really interesting having a look and seeing what your poo looks like.
Yeah. You know, I always say to people, I look after everything from mouth to anus, because that's your gastro
She's a bit
tract.
weird, but we like her.
But that's,
She's obsessed with anuses and poo.
but that's your
Guts, yeah.
That's your gastro tract, right?
Yeah.
So we're constantly overeating. We're constantly consuming food all the time.
Yeah.
So if you think about this, is your first line of defense, your skin.
Yeah.
On the inside of you, in your gut, you have a second line of defense, and that's your secretory IgA. So sometimes when it gets very low amounts, then it's like almost having a wall around you that's broken down. So if you break down the barrier, then pink things can get in.
Right.
If you build the barrier up nice and high, then nothing can get in.
And building the barriers by keeping your gut healthy, eating well, bone broth.
Bone broth,
Right.
all those things. When the systems stop working or being efficient, that's when you start collecting symptoms. And symptoms are the worst thing to collect, because they do knock on the door of disease. They're not the first thing in the line, they're the last thing in the line.
Knock on the door of disease. That's a really good thing. And that's what, hopefully, so these parasites left,
Yeah.
if I hadn't had this test,
Yeah.
and hadn't spoken to you,
Yeah.
could be the knocks on the door. Da, 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 da.
Yeah, because they don't necessarily, they're not really, you know, it's not like a headache. And so you could say, well, why do I always have a headache? Oh, and people say, oh, my mum had a headache, my grandma had a headache, oh, I'll deal with it, I have a headache. There's always a reason why the body
tells you something.
And it's just through a line of investigation, and normally it all stems in the gut. So what we need to do in a nutshell here is probably tighten up diet a little more.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put a herbal protocol in place to kill the bugs, which will be a rotation of different herbs, and re-inoculate the gut with good bacteria so that microbiome is more flourished. It's got repopulated with different strains of bacteria.
And how do I do that?
Well, we're going to make sure that you're constantly eating in season, constantly got varied and different and rotational foods on your plate, and at meal times. So
Lots of veg, good protein.
Yeah, and so that you're not just having the same breakfast, same lunch,
Yeah.
same dinner, those kind of things. Creating rotation.
So we're going to kill the bugs, guys.
Because weight loss always happens when you put your body in balance.
Yeah.
And being underweight or overweight is just a symptom of being out of balance. And that's all it is. So you get to the root cause of why a person is overweight, then it's easy runnings. But if you focus on the food, people don't lose weight that way. It's about getting to the real cause of why you're unhappy in the first place. And that always stems probably normally in the gut.
Can you believe it? I've got parasites, not good ones, in my stomach. And the thing is that Hannah said that this could really be something that's affecting my memory.
Oh.
So I'm going to do everything that she says. I'm going to do the bone broth. I'm going to do take the course of herbs and stuff that she said. And then I'm going to see if I get this miraculous alleviation of my symptoms, memory fog, tiredness, overweightness, all of that stuff.
So Hannah has inadvertently confirmed my worst fear for years.
What?
That you're possessed.
I am possessed. I've got parasites now going, oh my God. She told me so many amazing things about parasites that I didn't have time or enough room on my phone to film, but it's incredible what they can do, the amount of illnesses they can cause.
Really?
So getting a poo analysis, like she was saying, that if the NHS could just like have the foresight to get poo analysis, that it would save them so much money in the future, because so many of the things that are going to happen can be shown in your poo.